that what you said?
Las de emergencia, los botones de emergencia le quitaría todo. Gracias, dije, dejan de pagar la gente.
Here we go. The Hobby Kai was good. Give my fellow freedom marchers some time to get up in here. We gonna get into it. Morning. We're gonna get into it. I'm outside, never hiding. Never hiding. I'm still looking out for those who feel like, you know, they want to try something, you know. From the Minor Mouse camp and from the amazing George Lucas camp. Always on the forefront of my mind, y'all. Culver City Stairs, never hiding. Y'all know where I'm at. Anyway, it was good. How y'all doing? How's my freedom marchers doing? Are y'all marching toward freedom? Like I'm marching right now? Well, not marching. I'm not marching. You know, I'm rucking. But if I had to march with some fellow warriors, I could do that. The Hobby Kai says, before the livestock properly prepare for the natural disasters, which are expected to hit December this year or between April and June of next year. These disasters will shock the world. Where do we hear that from, Hobby Kai? I know you were talking about volcano eruptions and stuff like that too. So all that stuff is very important, right? Volcanic eruptions, but those happen. That's part of the natural cycle of the earth, you know what I mean? That's how the earth recycles itself. That's how it recycles the atmosphere, you know what I'm saying? That's how it refeeds the planet, because the volcanoes spit out a lot of shit that will return the earth to where it's supposed to be. Even though, like, let's say the volcano in Yellowstone went off, it would probably kill most of everyone on the planet, but it would refertilize the earth and things will start to grow again. So at least the earth will recycle itself. New life forms can take shape. You know, new dominant species can take shape and get shit cracking. Marsha T, what's good? How y'all doing? Please hit the like button when y'all come up in here for the algorithm. You know, I'm putting on an 80-pound show, so please hit that like button so we can at least give more people a chance to get out in here. A lot of private geologists are talking about it. Allegedly, the tectonic plates are shifting. They're calling it Culebra event. Yep. I took geology courses in college. The tectonic plates are always shifting. They never stop. They're always moving and shifting and grinding against each other. You know, in certain places you got you got sliding plate faults. You got thrust faults. You got faults that go underneath each other that cause those certain types of volcanoes. Like the tectonic plates are always shifting. Yeah, it's always doing that. The earth is always going through cycles. It goes in and out of ice ages. You know what I'm saying? Like the Mississippi River at one point was an ocean. That's how much, and it went all the way through Canada. Like it went through the Gulf to the Gulf of Mexico, all the way up through Canada. You know what I'm saying? At some point, there were no polar ice caps. You know, we were at, you know, the whole planet was basically a jungle. You know what I mean? So it's always shifting, it's always changing. Either that or the poles were in completely different places, right? Right now, we're basically coming out. We're at the ascent of an ice age or whatever, or going into an ice age. And then at some point, the whole Earth was a big ass ice ball, right? Like it was frozen damn near everywhere on the planet. So this shit happens, man. This shit happens. I believe some things are going to happen next year. Hence why they're always doing these G20 conferences now. It's all predictive programming. That may be the case. But I think the G20 summits are basically about, you know, how can we scare the people into believing that there's a catastrophe coming so that we can have them living in fear so that they're more easily controlled. So I take everything with a grain of salt unless I see some real evidence of something. Or if I can put the dots together, you know, I draw my own conclusions. Either way, if there's a great disaster coming, you should always be prepared for any disaster. And then there are going to be disasters you simply cannot prepare for, and you're not going to survive it no matter what. But the best thing you can do is, like I said, be prepared for any disaster, right? So that's essentially what I preach, man. Be prepared for any disaster, like earthquakes, volcanoes, tornadoes, wherever you live in, whatever your region is, whatever your climate is, always be prepared for what may come. Like where I'm going, where we're moving to next year in February, you know, there are possibilities of hurricanes, but we won't be living right on the coast. We will be living about 2 hours from the coast, from Atlantic Ocean. So we're not going to really be in danger of the hurricanes. But as far as the high winds and all that stuff, that's why when I get my land, I'm going to make sure I build a house that is tornado resistant, hurricane resistant, up to 250 miles per hour. So you just got to prepare for things like that, no matter where you live in. RC says, and if you believed the polar ice is melting to cause the rise of Earth and on waters all over the Earth, the further is all out would you buy, not buying that one, but seaside mansions like Mr. Obadhole Obama. Yeah, I mean, it might be to drive people out of these areas so that they can buy up all the beachfront properties and enjoy them damn selves. I'll send a list in the Discord group of all the locations which are supposed to be hit the heaviest. Yeah, send that on through. 2 seaside mansions, not just one. Oh, Obama owes 2 seaside mansions? But we're worried about the sea level rise? Yep. I believe it. You know what I'm saying? I believe it. Well, it's just like how, you know, Hurricane Katrina happened and all these elites came in and started buying up property, you know, for hella cheap. Why would you do that if you know it's vulnerable to hurricanes and the levees didn't work? Or did the levees work, but they were just decommissioned? You know what I mean? You know, there were reports that the levees were blown up to allow the flooding to occur. So, you know, who knows why people do what they do? Who knows why these elites do what they do to get what they want. You know what I'm saying? There does not have to be any good reason or sound reason. Some people put themselves before humanity, and that's just the reality of it. That's the bottom line. And so we have to put our humanity before comfort. But how y'all doing on this Sunday, November 20, I think it's the 28th, 2021. How y'all doing? Yesterday was my son's birthday. They came out real nice. Hit that like on the way in, please. Much love. Gaming with Stan was good. Kelvin Black was good. They will keep grinding on coral reefs, creating fake white sand. Yeah. It's a cold game what they do. These people constantly holler about emissions and carbon footprints, but they're the ones with the private jets, you know what I'm saying? And they're flying all around, and it's just, they're full of shit. They're eating the burgers, they're eating all the gourmet meals, all the gourmet steaks and all that shit. These people are full of shit. Cow farts are a problem. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. You look up that island that might make the tidal wave. They take out the East Coast. Oh man. You know what? Y'all know how tidal waves and tsunamis occur? Typically, when there are earthquakes, right, in the ocean, right? So let's say you have two faults rubbing against each other, and you know there's so much pressure. When the pressure releases, it's like it causes a big snap, an earthquake in the ocean. This creates a huge wave that will, you know, hit that potentially hit some coastlines or whatever. This happened in Sri Lanka, I believe. There was a big problem, but you cannot predict earthquakes. Earthquakes cannot be forecasted or predicted. All they can do is say, well, based on the history of earthquakes at this fault, this level of earthquake might happen because every so many years, there's an earthquake, like a big one. Tsunamis and tidal waves don't occur from like hurricanes. So hurricanes create massive waves because of the wind, but you know, it's not gonna cause one big huge wave that sends like a 50-foot or 100-foot wave into the coastline. Anyway, you can't predict a tidal wave. You can't predict earthquakes. For them to say, oh, it's gonna happen next year, I see that as a level of fear-mongering. You know what I mean? Because it takes a massive geological event to create a tidal wave or a tsunami, right? Let's say the tsunami that hit Japan, right? The tsunami that hit Japan, that was caused by an earthquake in the water, in the ocean. They couldn't have predicted that. But what they can do, once the earthquake happens, okay, it happened in this location, it's gonna send a tsunami to this coast. You got about 20 minutes to get the fuck to higher ground. That's as much forecasting as you're gonna get with the tsunami or a tidal wave. Tidal waves can also occur. One way they can predict the tidal wave is if they know a meteor is going to hit the ocean and cause a tidal wave based on the trajectory of that comet, or you know what I mean? So it has to be something like that. Okay, there's this comet here, it's coming in at this speed, it's coming in here, and then based on the Earth's rotation, it's going to hit this particular spot potentially in this year or this specific year. But they did that already. Remember they predicted a comet or a meteor was going to hit like 2 years ago? You know what I'm saying? It never happened. So rumors are the elites are going to blow up La Palma and make a huge tidal wave to take out the East Coast. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Interesting concept. Roland says some of it's fearmonger for sure. They're not capable of creating weather. They're capable of manipulating it. You know, they can seed clouds, but the conditions in the atmosphere have to be right for that. They can steer hurricanes, amplify hurricanes, all that good shit. They can do that. They can extend monsoon seasons like they did in Vietnam. They can definitely do that for sure. But it would take a lot of energy to cause a volcano to erupt, right? It would require a lot of energy. So, you know, who is this person that's saying that, oh, this is gonna happen, that at least they're gonna blow up a volcano? Where do they get their information? What are their sources? Do they have at least 3 sources to corroborate the story? You know what I mean? Like, I don't put it past our government or the elites to cause a situation like what happened on 9/11. You know what I'm saying? To make a certain thing happen in their favor. Or I wouldn't put it past the elites or the government to blow up some levees in Louisiana to drive a certain type of people out of there so that they can replace, you know what I'm saying, so they can go in and buy a property and all that good shit and obtain more resources. Hell, I don't put it past them to steer a hurricane and sit it right on Puerto Rico so that they can destroy Puerto Rico and do what they want in Puerto Rico. I don't put it past them to do that. But to force a volcano to erupt, they might do that. They might do that. We'll see. We shall surely see. Be prepared for anything. I watched 2 documentaries, one about Israel that are all sick from the snap, and one called Snap 2. The person I saw said you can look up the earthquake data on a lot of earthquakes public site. You can track historical earthquakes. Earthquakes cannot be predicted. All they can do is, like I said, they say, okay, based on a report 100 years ago, this size earthquake happened at this fault. Okay, so we should be looking out for another of the same size earthquake to happen, you know, at this point in time. You know, all they can do is go based on past earthquakes, you know, to try to determine if maybe, possibly, they can forecast an earthquake. But they said, they've been saying the San Andreas fault right here in California, oh, we're gonna have a big one by 2020. They've been saying that type of shit. They've been trying to say, oh, well, we're due for a huge earthquake in San Andreas Fault. That's going to be like at most a 7.6. But they won't know it's going to happen until it happens. That's just how earthquakes work. It's not like the weather. Anyway, so there's one thing that can be predictable: heart conditions. Heart conditions increasing after the proliferation of a certain medical treatment, right? And let me tell y'all something. There have been a rash of heart attacks in sports, like an exponential growth in, or an exponential increase in heart attack rates. An exponential increase in heart attacks and heart conditions. You know, players passing out on the field because of heart attacks and heart conditions, inflammation, and all that good shit. This after the mandates started rolling out. And a lot of these sports organizations have a high rate of snaps among their members, you know what I mean? Because some organizations are, you know, implementing these mandates. They're implementing the mandates. And if they're not implementing the mandates, well, the cities that they have to play in are initiating mandates. And if they want to play in those cities, they have to actually get the snap. And this is why Kyrie Irving is not playing. Not because his team had mandates, but because New York itself has mandates. So, you know, either you get the snap or you sit out for the rest of the year until the mandates are no longer in place. Then what says, I'm trying to warn people about the snap. People won't listen. Only one person listened to me. But that's all you can do, man. Like, you can't force this down people's throat. All you can do is give them information. Give them information and let them do with that information what they choose. That's all you can do. Some people are not going to care about the facts because the fear is so prominent in their being that all logic goes out the window. Some people are just not going to care. You know, they'd rather live in fear than, you know, listen to facts. Rosalind says, no one listens at work. Tons of people ran to get boosters and the flu snap. Hey, man, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. And that's what's funny to me. I know people who would never get the flu shot. They never got the flu shot in their life. Well, not in their life, but in a long time. But now, because of the Modelo 19, they're willing to go get the flu snap. So it's like, and they're getting the flu snap and they're getting the Modelo 19 snap. So go figure. But yeah, yep, soccer players are passing out. My guess is high-speed running. Heard about the NBA players that can't play now. Well, here's what we know. We know the snap causes myocarditis and pericarditis in many young men. from ages, 17 all the way up to 30. And that is the prominent age group for these sports, right? For the people that participate in them. A lot of them are no older than 30. Like in some sports, your career ends when you're about 30. So these guys, well, in soccer, I think you have a longer, career expectancy, just like baseball. But, these are young men who are passing out. Some of them died. You know what I'm saying? And no one wants to investigate, right? No one wants to investigate. No one wants to try to see if there's a correlation between the mandates being enforced and these heart conditions increasing. No one wants to do that, right? See, for me, this will cause me even more not to want to get the SNAP. Because look at what I'm doing. Look at me, huh? Look at me. 80 pounds worth of equipment on me. I'm walking up hills. And right now, and I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, I'm talking, breathing, not too heavy. I can still talk. But, I couldn't imagine getting the SNAP and being concerned about the idea that I might not be able to do this after that. I might not be able to do this for a long time, And I'm 41. I'm not necessarily in that age bracket, but some guys my age have been getting pericarditis and myocarditis after the SNAP. So, it's a possibility. And it's a chance I'm not going to take at all. I'm not taking the chance. I'm going to rely on my own immune system and my good health, my cardiovascular strength. And I'm going to let that protect me from whatever may come. And if it doesn't, well, shit wasn't, hey, it was my time to go. You feel me? And that's another thing. People are afraid to die. You're afraid to die, but everyone has to die. No one is going to live forever. So, yeah, and no one wants to die early. No one wants to die when they're 41. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm 41. I don't want to die until I'm not 105. But that doesn't mean that's going to happen. And, I expect that I might not make it to 105. And the only way I want to make it to 105 is if I'm still standing, still, cognitive, still have cognitive functioning, don't have to be in a wheelchair, have all my teeth. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are certain ways that I want to be able to live at 105. I still want to be able to ruck a little bit, And there are people 105, they're out there getting it in, They still have cognitive function. Hell, I'll be happy to live to 80. But I know that there's a possibility I could die way sooner than that. So that's how I operate. But what I'm not gonna do is let fear drive me to put something into my body I don't feel is 100% safe. Now, I don't do things that are 100% safe all the time, But what I'm not gonna do is have some shit injected into me that can, reduce my quality of life. See, it's not so much the fear of death for me, it's the idea that my quality of life will be diminished because I decided to get this injection that could possibly fuck with my quality of life. And there's a possibility that I'll get it and nothing will happen. That it'll do what it's supposed to do. But I feel like if the snap can do it, well then, so can natural immunity, which I feel I have. If this thing exists as they say it does. If, you know, germ theory is correct. Because there has been research done and studies done that show that people can be in the same room, right? One person could be sick as a dog, right? And this even happened with Modelo 19 on the Princess Cruise. You know, one spouse would have the Modelo 19 full-fledged, sick as a dog, and their spouse, nothing would happen to them, and they would never test positive. And they've done studies to where they would take, you know, they would go into the mucous membrane with a cotton swab of somebody, a sick person, and put the contents into another person, put it in their mucous membrane, and they wouldn't get sick. So, I mean, I don't know. To me, there's not enough evidence to show that, you know, viruses are necessarily transmissible. You know, I think that environmental factors, right, like a certain type of pollution or a certain type of something being sprayed in the sky might cause some people to become sick. Because I know that mold can do it. Mold can make you sick. There's proof of that. Bacteria can make you sick. There's proof of that. But a naturally occurring virus, there's no proof that's ever happened, you know, that I can see. Good morning, Chelsea G. They didn't listen to Hank Aaron's wife. Of course they didn't, because it wasn't going with the narrative. Snaps are made to get you sick, so you had to spend money on other things to make you feel better. Yep. I know people who get the flu every year after they get the flu shot. Never fails. They get a flu shot and they're down for days with the flu. You know? Like my homeboy's daughter was really sick the last couple weeks. Well, not the last couple weeks, but within the last couple weeks, the homie's daughter was very sick. She had a runny nose, like she had a stuffy nose, a lot of mucus, a very sore throat, you know what I'm saying? Fever, all that type of shit. And she has four siblings. None of her siblings got sick like she did. Her parents did not get sick like she did. They thought she might have had Modelo 19, but they wouldn't get her tested, you know what I mean? So, but she got better, you know what I'm saying? She got over it. She's 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? They got all that mucus out with this thing called a nosy boo. Y'all should look into that. You know, if your children are congested, or even you, it works on adults as well. There's this thing called the nosy boo. Nosiboo. Nosy Boo. It's a nasal aspirator, but it's electronic, and it basically you put it in your nose, and it sucks all the mucus out. All the mucus in your mucous membranes just come on out. And it doesn't just come out of your nasal, right? Your nasal cavity. It also comes out of your chest, your esophagus. Like if it's all the way down in here, you know what I'm saying? It won't pull shit out of your lungs. Shit gets to your lungs, it's too late. But it can help prevent shit from getting in your lungs. So let's say you have a nosy boo, and it sucks the shit out of that mucus, man. Like I used it, you know what I'm saying, a few times, and it'll pull so much mucus out. But anyway, what you want to do is you can even break up a lot of that mucus to help it become easier to come out. So let's say you take some shit that's supposed to break up mucus. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Let's say you take I heard that spill. You could take something that helps break up mucus. Maybe some garlic and some cayenne and some shit like that. Shit that mucus doesn't like, and it'll break up. Then you get that nosy boo. Get that shit to working. Oh man, that shit's coming out. It's almost like, and oh, I forgot to tell you about this too. Garlic in your nose. It sounds crazy, right? So you take garlic cloves, right? You peel all the skin off. Make sure that there's no skin on the garlic clove. You put that shit in your nose to where it plugs your nose. And in about 30 minutes, you will be leaking. If you got mucus, you will be leaking all kinds of shit. All that shit's gonna come out. All of it. I tried it my damn self. You know what I'm saying? I felt a little stuffy a couple weeks ago. My nose felt a little stuffy. I put that garlic in there. Let me tell y'all, man. It works almost. It works like the nosy boo, except it takes about 30 minutes. And when you pour the garlic out, all that shit comes out with it. And you blow your nose, and you will have a shitload of mucus coming out. A shitload. But it reminded me of when, and this is how I know they put garlic in CS gas. When I was in the Army, we had to go through the CS chamber, right? The gas, the tear gas chamber. And so you go in there and you have to recite your name, your social security number, the alphabet, and you got to take your mask off because you go in there with your pro mask on, your protective mask, they call it. You take that bitch off. You got to say your name, social security number, all that shit, your date, your birth date, and then the alphabet. And then they'll make you say the alphabet backwards, and they won't let your ass out until you say the alphabet backwards. They want you to know what it feels like in case you have to go through crowd control to be hit with tear gas. Anyway, CS gas, tear gas, whatever you want to call it. I came out of there, I was leaking. Like, I felt a little, I felt a little under the weather because you got injected with all this shit. Like, you go through a gauntlet, the needle gauntlet in the military. When you first get in, you get all these inoculations and, you get all these, especially if you're going to get deployed, you go through Needle Alley again. So you go through Needle Alley when you get in, you go through Needle Alley before you get deployed, and, you're going to feel a little way. But not too long after that, you go through that CS chamber. All the shit that shit could have did to you, how sick that shit could have made you, all that shit flies out of you. You become clear. Your sinuses are clear. I'm telling you, I went through the CS chamber. I think it was still kind of cold in Georgia, and I didn't feel no kind of sick. I had zero mucus for the rest of that basic training. For the rest of basic training, and I was infantry, so basic training was extended basic training, basically. I didn't have a specialized MOS, but anyway, I didn't get sick for a long time after I went to that CS chamber. That shit clears your ass right on out. That might even be a good idea for a sweat lodge. Get some of them ingredients. You know, sweat lodges too. I've been through a sweat lodge. Went through a sweat lodge before. That shit cleared me out. But that's some different shit. They put them hot ass rocks, and they put fucking like eucalyptus shit. It's basically like a sauna, but you're butt naked in a tent. You got to get butt naked. That's part of the ritual. You know, I went to Red Wind, which is a sovereign land owned by natives, by the indigenous folks of this land they call America. And yeah, it was a sweat lodge ritual. I went through there, and I was smoking cigarettes at the time. Man, let me tell you something. I didn't want to smoke a cigarette after that. I didn't quit until like 2 years later, but I didn't smoke a cigarette for a while after I got out that sweat lodge. Because that shit, if you're a heavy smoker, and I was smoking like a pack a day, sometimes a pack and a half of cigarettes. And if you was a heavy smoker going into a sweat lodge, your ass wish you never smoked a day in your life. Mustard gas, that shit'll kill you. What's up, Rashard? Moronic variant. Jay with open eyes 4 says, I made a video on the oh my God variant. I'm pretty sure you know it's scripted news though. They named the new strain out of Africa on Black Friday. Oh yeah. Dude, it's all a game. These people, that's why on Saturday I talked about the oh my God variant, and I call it the oh my God variant. Yes, I don't call it the Omicron. I call it the oh my God, because oh my God, not another motherfucking variant. Oh my God, here comes another variant. The OMG variant. That's what I call it. This shit is garbage. It's trash. Let me tell you something. 0 cases in the U.S., but these motherfuckers acting like, so they say, these motherfuckers acting like 8 million people died from it already. This shit is fucking ridiculous. See safe and see careful out there. Oh, what's good, bro? Happy birthday, Reckless Podcast. Y'all wish Reckless Podcast a happy birthday, man. Wish Cuz a happy birthday. You know what I mean? Even though my family's B-Dog, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no, my family B-Dog, but, you know, I'll let you slide, Reckless. It's all good. Wait. It's not mustard gas. No, it's not mustard gas. Mustard gas is a nerve gas. That shit, if it was mustard gas, you wouldn't be here talking to us right now. Mustard gas is dangerous. No, CS gas. Tear gas. They should not have been dosing you guys with mustard gas in basic training. They should not have been doing that. Why Thanksgiving weekend? Because thanks for giving us the oh my God variant. That they want us to be thankful for giving us the oh my God variant. They want us to be very thankful for that. It'll never stop. This thing is endemic now. The Modelo 19 is endemic, much like the cold, much like the flu. It's endemic. Guitar cover by Gavin 123. Where you hiking that ball? I'm Culver City Stairs in Los Angeles. Culver City Stairs. I do this basically every Sunday when I'm working. When I'm not working, I try to do it every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. But because I'm working now, I do it once a week on Sundays. Y'all know where I'm at. I mean, not you, Guitar, but you know, everybody that watches my channel, haters, supporters alike, they know where I'm at. even though they talk shit and you know they feel like they can beat my ass. They ain't came up here yet. Thought I'd throw that out there. Kelvin Black, they want you to spend money for the holidays lockdown. Well, of course. Why do you think Obama? Why do you think Biden was trying to hold off until January to initiate the mandates, even though the courts shut that shit down? But even though the courts shot it down, the federal court, they got another panel of judges reviewing it. So it's not dead in the water yet. It's not dead in the water yet. But we'll find out soon enough. Shout out to Clouds. What's good, man? I ain't seen you in here in a minute. Unless you get in a fatal motorcycle accident or take these injections, he probably won't die from a Del 19. Who? Okay, cool. You're in San Diego? And the mountains look very similar? Oh, yeah. The shrub with all the shrubbery and shit, yeah. Now, this is the Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook. That's the real name for it. But everybody knows what it is, Culver City Stairs. It's easy to look up, easy to find, and I'm not hard to find. Y'all see me, you know what I mean? Y'all see me with the equipment. The only cat up here wearing this type of equipment. Yeah, Biden is Obama in his earpiece in his basement with his sweats on. Yeah. And what this is, in GTA 5, I went to Big Telescope. That's in LA. Oh, at the Griffin Park Observatory. Let's see. Where's Hollywood? Where's the Hollywood sign? Over here somewhere. Hollywood's over here. Hollywood's over here somewhere. The Hollywood Hills. Somewhere over there, there's, I don't know, fucking Griffin Park. That's the Wilshire District. That's the federal building is over here. Yeah, Pedo Wood. That's the federal building. That's where the FBI and all that shit is. I've been in there a few times on VA business. Pedo Wood, yep. So yeah. So I look up Google something else, man. Google something else. I go to look up, and I also use DuckDuckGo and little different little search engines, because Google is not going to be reliable all the time, especially depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for specific information on something that they're trying to throttle, then you're only going to get the information they want you to have. So I look up these increase in heart attacks and these people passing out on the field of sports, and especially soccer. And what I get are fact checks from Reuters and all this other shit. Fact check this, fact check that. False. That the Model 19 is linked to the increase in heart attacks. It's false. But when you go read the article, it'll say it doesn't say whether or not the player had the snap or not. You know what I mean? Like so it's not debunking the idea that the snap caused the increase in heart attacks. What it's saying is that the reports of the deaths or the occurrences, you know what I'm saying, they're not mentioning the snap. Well, it doesn't have to mention the snap like that right away, right? And they're probably not going to mention the snap if guys are just passing out. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to do it right away. They might have to do a little bit more digging, all this other shit. And they're trying to say that, a lot of these players have a history of heart attacks in their family. Who the fuck does it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure everybody in this chat room has an ancestor somewhere in their past that died of a fucking heart attack. Come on. Like, heart attacks are the leading causes of death in this country. So how is that supposed to So yeah, the phone call. Stupid ass. Cause I'm trying to get. What the fuck? Hold on. I'm trying to. Sorry, y'all. Oof. God damn it. I'm trying to get a quote. You know, you go and put in for these quotes, and you get all these motherfuckers, man, hitting you up. I put in a quote. I'm trying to get a quote to have my vehicle shipped from LA to the East Coast. And so I got all these people hitting me up, giving me quotes, calling me, oh, this much, that much. It's getting annoying now, but it's really the best way to get the best prices, man. Oh, that's what's up. Thank you guys for sticking around through the phone calls. I wish I could like put on a do not disturb. 1,300 for what? 1,300 for what, Kelvin Black? So the highest quote I got to ship both my truck and my minivan was 2,700. And the lowest I got was about 1,900. So yeah, but I got one company sent me a quote for about $2,000. Yeah. More strokes, heart attacks, yeah. But I got my wife's cousin. He's a truck driver. He's gonna actually move our stuff out there. Not our cars, but our, like, you know, clothes and workout equipment. The only thing we're taking out there is my workout equipment. You know, I can't leave that behind. My workout equipment and some TVs. My stationary bike, of course, has to go with me. So we're taking that type of stuff. So it's not really a lot of stuff. And I wasn't gonna drive my truck out there and have my brother drive my van and fly him back. But I'm thinking, due to the cost of gas and wear and tear on my car, I might actually save money shipping, you know, having my car shipped out and then taking a flight, a one-way ticket out there. So I think that'll be better. And I get to save a few days of my time, you know. On top of that, I might have to go out there sooner than February to start this new job that I potentially got. So they needed somebody yesterday. And, you know, of course, there's a shortage of skilled laborers out there in the workforce. So I fit what they need. I fit their criteria, you know, so I might end up having to go out there a lot sooner than February. So, but the good thing is $6,000 sign-on bonus. So that's a good thing. And the pay is hella competitive. I can start with almost, depending on how impressed they are by me, I have the potential to start with 100K a year. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really expecting about 80K. I don't want to do it for less than that, really. Even out there. Because there's jobs out there that pay that much. But anyway. But yeah, they don't want to, of course, attribute the rise in heart attacks to the Modelo 19 snap. But they had no problem attributing motorcycle accident deaths to Modelo 19 itself. You know what I'm saying? So they pick and choose when they want to assign blame to something. You know, they don't want to assign any blame to the Modelo 19 snap. But any and everything was caused by Modelo 19 itself. I appreciate that, old head Deuce 22. You know I'm gonna go out there and represent the West. I got to. You know what I'm saying? But my partner, the old boy I'm linking up with, when I get out there, he was born and raised where I'm going, and we got a lot of plans. So look forward to meeting him one day. Might have him come on the panel sooner rather than later, because when I get out there, we want to hit the ground running. We're going to get a podcast started. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have, I'm starting another channel where it's going to focus on survival skills, homesteading, you know what I'm saying, fitness, all that shit. So even though I couldn't do the RV thing, I'm still making something crack. But in order to do that, I got to get the fuck out of LA. LA has had me stuck for years. You know, trying to advance out here, trying to make things happen. It just hasn't been working. I've been given all the signs that show me that LA is not home. It was home for a long time. I was born and raised here, but it's time to move on to greener pastures. Literally, I'm moving on to greener pastures, y'all. So it's all good. Kelvin Black, Decatur, Georgia. Oh, that's what's up. I won't be far from Decatur. Shawnee Clouds says, logic tells you if they're putting anti-heart attack medicine in the children's doses, they obviously were getting a heart attack. Huh? Shawnee Clouds, can you rephrase that? Or, translate that a little bit? Oh, that's what's up, old head. Yeah, we'll definitely link up. We'll definitely link up before I leave, man. We'll definitely do that. Old head Deuce says Teofimo Lopez took an honest ass woman. Yes, he did. Even though he's in denial. He's in denial. He just needs to go back and look at the tape. He'll see. He got his ass whooped handedly by George Kambosos. It's just, he's in denial. He's a sore loser, and that's what it is. He wasn't that great. He didn't even look that great against Lomachenko, honestly. He beat him. He edged Lomachenko out, but it wasn't like a pure ass whooping. And Lomachenko is overrated to me anyway. To me, Lomachenko's always been overrated. All you have to do is cut Lomachenko properly, man. You got to keep his front foot, especially if you're orthodox, because Lomachenko is a southpaw. To beat Lomachenko, you have to set him up with your right hand, and you got to cut him off. You got to cut him off because he likes to shuffle and hit those big angles. You got to get your front foot, if you're orthodox, you got to keep your front foot outside of his front foot. So when he does that fancy footwork, all you got to do is make sure, keep your foot outside of his, you know, because you're opposite stance. So keep your front foot outside of his front foot. Try to stay away from his left hand, you know what I mean? But he's dangerous with both hands. So what you really got to do is all in his footwork. All you have to do is stuff his footwork, man. Stuff his left foot or his right foot. Keep his right foot inside your left foot and set him up with those right hands. You know, left hooks to the body, all that shit. Straight down the pipe. You know what I mean? So, Lomachenko, you know, you take his footwork away. His chin isn't that great. You know, we saw that from Linares. He could be knocked down. You just got to catch him. You know what I mean? He's definitely not as skilled as Mayweather. Mayweather is definitely the better boxer than Lomachenko. I know they tried to compare the two. It's incomparable. Mayweather is just the much better fighter, much better boxer. You know what I mean? Marcy, you're a southpaw? That's what's up. Teofimo has heart. But, you know, he lost. And, you you just respect the winner. You know? Respect the fact that you got knocked down. He knocked down Kambosos too in the 10th round, but he didn't capitalize on it. If he'd have capitalized and kept the heat on when he knocked down Kambosos in the 10th round, he probably could have gotten a lot better score out of it, or even probably knocked him out. But yeah, Kambosos is just a better fighter. Marcy, you're a southpaw? That's what's up. An ingredient in children's medicine is designed to reduce heart attacks is in the injection. No shit. No shit. Aren't there blood thinners in those medications? Why? See, leave shit alone. These kids, that's why I said, we're authorizing emergency use of a medication for a sickness that doesn't even affect children like that. For children. Why is there emergency use for children if children aren't being hit nearly as hard? If there have been 700 hospitalizations only, or probably 800 by now, or less. If there have only been 700 hospitalizations in almost a year and a half for children, 100 ages 5 to 11, why the fuck is there emergency use? That's not a fucking emergency for children. You know what I mean? So, it's fucking bullshit, man. I can fight in both stances. I'm ambidextrous. I can fight in both stances. Just like I write with my left hand, you know, I write with my left hand, but I do almost everything else with my right hand. But when it comes to like fighting, I'm good in both stances. But the thing about being good in both stances is defense. If you're gonna fight from both stances, then your defense has to be just as good in both stances for you to be effective in both stances. So, like the switch hitting and all that shit, I can do all that, you know? I can switch hit. My defense is good from both sides. So you just gotta, you know, if you're gonna try to be ambidextrous or fight with both stances, you gotta make sure your defense is good. Oh, you right, lefty? That's what's up. Marcy says right now, right on. Why are they giving adult doses to children? Yeah, they're giving adult doses to children on purpose because they're running out of children's doses. So they're giving children 1/3 of adult doses, and they're saying that's underdose for children. All right. So if that's the case, why give them 1/3 of the adult dose if it's not going to be as effective? Why not just say, you know, we don't have any right now, go to a different place that has them? Why would you do that? Why would you give them a smaller dose from the adult batch? Why give them 1/3 of an adult batch if that's going to result in less protection for the children? It's stupid. These people make no sense either way it goes. The anti-heart attack medicine needs dry ice. They have known all along that it gives you heart attacks. Yeah, I'm sure they did. And here's another thing. There's a whistleblower from Pfizer that put out all kind of information, right? Talking about how the doses weren't stored properly. They were being kept in the wrong rooms. All kind of problems with these studies, right? Why do you think they don't want to release all the studies and all the research papers until 2076? Listen, and another whistleblower, right? You know, I was talking about the increased heart attack rates. Well, there was a research paper done through the American Heart Association by Dr. Gundry or something, I think his name is. He was part of it. Well, they released the abstract, but never released the actual study because they didn't want to stop receiving funding because they had negative things to say about the SNAP in its relation to heart attacks. So there goes that. You know, they don't want to release the research paper. And so, of course, the fact checkers are going to shit on the abstract because it hasn't been released or peer reviewed. But let me ask you a question. Have the studies that Moderna, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, have the studies they've done on their trials, have they been peer reviewed yet? Or did they just give some shit to the FDA for emergency use? Has all the papers been thoroughly researched, vetted, tested multiple times, peer reviewed? But you're not going to say, you're not going to do a negative fact check for that because it's not, it doesn't go with the narrative. The AstraZeneca studies, the trials, they haven't been peer reviewed for the SNAP. They didn't have time for that. And if they were peer reviewed, guess what? If they did it right and approved the SNAP when they're supposed to, which is after all these types of studies have been done, and then like if you do a study or if you do trials and certain adverse effects come up at a high frequency or at enough of a frequency to cause concern, you're supposed to do studies on that. Just like the myocarditis, pericarditis, and the blood clots, they're supposed to do a study on that, according to the FDA, that's supposed to be done by 2027. But they already approved it. See what I'm saying? Black Spring Autumn was in the building. Black Spring with Autumn. So of course, when it comes to that study by the American Heart Association, they're gonna call it bullshit. They're gonna give it a negative fact check because they haven't released the actual study yet, which hasn't been peer reviewed. And that, you know what? All you can do is take that study. If it hasn't been peer reviewed, just look at what they've done. Look at all the sources they have. Look at all the information they've gathered, and make your own determination. And use common sense. Like, there has been a 10% increase since July in non-Modelo 19 related deaths, and a 30% increase, I believe, since the whole thing started. I'm not sure about that. I got to double check that. But last year, there was a 200,000 extra deaths than normal. 200,000 more deaths than normal that weren't related to Modelo 19, related to stress, drug overdose. I think there was 86,000 drug overdoses or something like that. Suicide, all that type of shit. Caused by what? Stress. Stress caused by what? Fear. Fear of what? Fear of dropping dead in the streets from a thing that has a 99.9999999% survival rate, and whose variants has an even better survival rate. So these things, it's just, all you have to do is put two and two together. Draw your own conclusions from it. Do your own research. Mainstream media and government, they're going to tell you that, Modelo 19 is the most dangerous thing on earth. They're going to tell you, oh, we need to get everybody snapped. We need to silence the dangerous, what they call that? Dangerous misinformation, all this type of shit. Anything that goes against the narrative is misinformation to them. If it goes against, they don't want to hear any questions. They don't want you to question nothing. They don't want you not trust anything. If you don't trust them, then they think you're nut baskets. Hell, I think even Brian Stelter said, what did he say? He said, don't trust those other news networks. Just listen to and watch us. They don't even want you getting information from different sources. They want you getting all the information from them. Why is that? Right? YouTube, fucking shit. YouTube doesn't want you getting information from anyone else. They put all these top authoritative sources up there, and if you steer away from the narrative and try to use the real words for these things, they'll come after you. They'll take your channel down, just like they did me. Well, they didn't take my channel down, but they gave me a strike warning for saying some shit I never said about the 2020 election. You know what I'm saying? They said I said that there was widespread fraud that changed the outcome of the election. I never fucking said that on any fucking video, because I don't care about voting like that. You feel me? I don't care about fucking voting. All I was saying was that this particular governor elect had some hand in the Dominion voting systems. That's all I said. I never said nothing about no fucking voter fraud. And when I appealed it and told them that, they said, nope, you did say it. What can I do? They control the platform, right? They control the platform. They're publishers. They're publishers, not a platform. But they are protected by Section 230, which doesn't make sense. And it's not being enforced. Why? Because our elected officials, they don't do what they're elected to do, which is represent us. They represent the big corporations. They represent ABC. They represent Viacom. They represent Wells Fargo. They represent the banks. They represent the Fed. You know what I'm saying? The Federal Reserve. They represent those entities. They don't represent us because we don't have, we can't give them what they want. Joe Biden is the most popular president in history. Yeah, exactly. Humping and 8 pounds of chewing bubble gum. Yes, sir. I'm doing a little more than chewing bubble gum. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean? Joe Biden is, yeah, bullshit. Oh, they do say, so happy, let's go, Brandon. Changed in every stadium. Chanted in every stadium. Yeah, it should be. But let me tell you what Let's Go Brandon is doing. Let's Go Brandon is setting up the next figurehead puppet. That's what it's doing. Right? Because they're going to bring in somebody's going to come in that's going to have this new shiny armor, and they're going to, you know, they're going to shit on Joe Biden. And I'm talking about a Democratic candidate. A Democratic candidate is going to come through, you know, and try to make himself look better than Joe Biden. And everybody, including Democrats, are going to be like, F Joe Biden, I don't want him to be my president again. And then it's going to soften everyone up for the new controller puppet. Nothing new under the sun. You know what I mean? Nothing new under the sun. They don't care if y'all don't give a fuck about Joe Biden. They don't give a shit. All they're going to do is replace him with somebody that you're going to like more and ain't going to do shit for you. Like Obama, right? They made George Bush Jr. or, yeah, George H.W. or George W. Which one is it? George W. They made George W. look like a piece of trash so that Obama could come in and sweep you off your feet. But he was trash. He was trash. He gave reparations to the Japanese. He gave certain rights to only homosexuals, only the LGBT community. You know what I'm saying? But left everybody else ass hanging out to dry. Man, Joe Biden, everybody hates Joe Biden right now, and they're gonna love the next guy. Maybe Pete Buttigieg or whoever the fuck else they want to put in his place, or even Governor DeSantis, or Trump and DeSantis. Who the fuck knows? Now they're talking about a Trump DeSantis ticket. Like, tell me y'all ain't falling for this shit. Tell me y'all ain't falling for this. No president is going to be for the people. Black Spring Autumn was good. Hope to see you guys later. Not here. What you mean? What you mean, Black Spring? The Matrix is the loop. Yes, it is. So happy. Let's go. Hey, Mark. Hey, Black Spring. I'll be a lot closer to you coming February. Cleasy was good. I'll be a lot closer to Black Spring or Autumn come next year. It's on and popping. You know what I mean? I know you are Black Spring. I can tell. But you need to do a live stream again. I know you're shadow banned just like me. But, you know, we still got to put our information out. Oh, yeah. I'll be close. If you're in Atlanta, I'll be damn close. Maybe a couple of few hours away. And that's the beauty about where I'm going. I can get to a lot of places in hours. I can get to a lot of different states in hours. I can network in many different places. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different culture out there. It's a whole different culture. The networking possibilities are a lot better out there. Because in California, you know, it is what it is. Black Spring Autumn says the Mandela effect is real. No, I believe it. You're waiting for me in Texas? Nah. Texas might not be it, man. I have a very specific criteria for a place I'm going to lay roots. Right now, I'm just going I'm going to a particular place just to, be able to go out and see exactly where I want to buy land at. So where I'm going is going to put me in a better position to look for a permanent home where I can have some land, and I have specific criteria of what I need. I need some good soil. I need some good groundwater. I need to be able to grow year round. You know what I mean? And the politics can't be as trashy. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be an atmosphere also where the people are more ready to be free. You know what I mean? Like, people where the atmosphere where the people want freedom first and foremost, where they're already equipped to a certain level of freedom above California. And I know they have that in Texas, but I'm not sure if Texas has the soil and, for that I need. I need to be able to grow. You know what I mean? I need to be able to be self-sustainable 100% and get off grid if I have to. And where I'm going, it has all that. Oh, I know y'all do. Y'all got constitutional carry. That's one thing that made Texas in the top 10 list. Texas is up there. I'm not completely ruling out Texas, but I need other things to fall in place. Well, it sounds like you're talking about North Carolina because, well, not just North Carolina, not just the North. Not just North Carolina, but North Carolina is definitely a possibility. So I'm gonna tell you all my top 4 or 5. My top 4 or 5 is Georgia. Well, it's really just a top 3, really, based on my wife's criteria. My wife wants to be able to get to the ocean, be able to get to the beach within a couple hours. So, that rules out Alabama. That rules out West Virginia, which were on my list. Alabama's on my list. I got an uncle who lives out there. He has farmland. Yeah. South Carolina also has great farmland. You know what I'm saying? Georgia has great farmland. Oh, the fuck? Memphis, Tennessee was on the list, but my wife ain't with Tennessee. Hold on. My wife is not even my wife is not even trying to entertain the idea of Tennessee because her family is from there. Her grandma and like her mother and all them, they're from Tennessee, and my wife has a bad taste in her mouth about Tennessee because of her grandmother's experience in Tennessee back in the day, back when it was real bad as far as racism goes. TDOA, Shannon Alclass says, talk to YouTuber Permanent Pasture Farms. He will help you out. Oh yeah, no, trust me. I'm already going to reach out to Permanent Pastures. Trust me. Where are they at? I think where are they at? What state is Permanent Pastures in? Billy the Permanent Pastures pimp. Trust me, I enjoy his content. I learn a lot from him, even though I'm not practicing what he because I just don't have the land to do it. But once I get my land, trust me, I'll be tapping in with him. But like I said, my partner out there, he has that level of knowledge as well. You know what I'm saying? His dad owns farmland, his uncles, like all these people. And he already has resources. He has a network of people he barters with already. And trust me, I'll be looking to link up with a lot of people out that way, we're going to start a movement. There's going to be a hell of a movement going on. Permanent passes in North Carolina? Okay. Old head Deuce. I ain't mad at the Philippines. They just gotta get rid of their crazy ass president. He tripping. Like, he's doing the mandate for everybody. I can't fuck with a president like that. And the president of the Philippines kills everybody on sight. Not everybody, kills all drug dealers. I don't agree with that. Y'all know how I feel about prohibition. It's pointless. But to take it to a level where you're like, oh, okay, we're just gonna go kill every drug dealer. No investigation, no day in court, none of that shit. You know? Listen, in the prohibition, and you will increase the quality of the drugs will increase, because there won't be no need to step on it, to cut it. There won't be any need to do all this underhanded bullshit that goes on in the drug world. You know? People have access. Oh, what the hell is that? Centipede? What is that? Yeah. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it ain't moving. Leave that shit alone. Robin Lasage says, hey everyone, kind of late to the party. Was driving, it's all good.
What?
I got your back too, old head. Yeah, but I ain't expat nowhere. I'm staying right here. And if I have to, I'll fight for my freedoms. I just need to put myself in a better position to do that.
Your name? Everyone's name on it.
In the black provinces, people are free, they have few worries. Now, how is that? You talking about in the hills, in the mountains, right? In the mountains of the Philippines? I can see that. But still, like, what if a brother want to go and enjoy some, you know, modern culture a little bit? What if a brother wants to get away from mountain living? Fuck that. Fuck that president. Now, if Pacquiao becomes president, that might be something I consider. But if I were to expat, if I were to expatriate, it will more likely be Thailand. Thailand will be on the top. No, Tahiti. Tahiti's on the top. Thailand is number 2. Definitely not fucking with the Philippines though. Not until they get their shit together. Not until the people rise up against that retarded ass president. Okay. Lap number 3 today, y'all. Last week I only did 2, and I was pooped out. Now I'm good with 3. Let's see. Shout out, guys, if you move to the South, whether you're a Christian or not, donate to HOG. Donate a hog to the nearby church, and you'll be good with town forever. No shit. That's funny. Black Funeral Autumn says, TDOA. Damn, another motherfucking text from another quote. I don't believe these tyrants will relinquish power. They made Rittenhouse upon before the ink dried the verdict. I'm already knowing. I'm already knowing. It is a psyop. Let me tell you something. That's why I said you want to put yourself in a position where you're not going to be a victim or conditioned by the propaganda and the psyop, where you know you're good because you have all the resources you need. If they shut down the supply chain, you good because you and your people have everything you need, including medicinals, including water, food, you know what I'm saying? Camaraderie, you know, because people are social beings and they need that camaraderie. They need that level of family. Put yourself in a position where you have all that. And all this shit has less and less meaning. Just be ready to defend what you got. Because it doesn't matter where you go. You can go to the Philippines. You can go to Africa like my homeboy did. He's been in Africa for almost a week now. He'll be in Africa a week on Friday. You can go wherever you want. He went to Tanzania. You can go anywhere you want. But at some point, because of how this empire runs, because trust me, it's an empire. It's not just the United States. They got their hands everywhere. And they try to put their hands everywhere. Right? Everybody is going to have to fight for their freedoms at some point, no matter where you go. Just a matter of when. Just a matter of when. It might not happen in my lifetime. It might not happen in my children's lifetime. But at some point, you're going to have to do it. But you want to be in a position where you can put up the best fight, where you can defend yourself in the best way possible. That's what you want to do. So, you know, that's what it is. That's what it is. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm making the move I'm making. I could have went to Africa with the homie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't have left as soon as he did. But I could have, you know what I'm saying? I could have got set up like he did easily out there. You know? I could have done that. But, like, you can't own weapons out there unless you're part of the military. And what are the odds of me becoming a part of the military? And how fair is that? That only the police and the military can hold weapons. I mean, you can get them out there, but it's fucking hard, and you can't get nearly everything that you can get out here. Why is that important? Because it's very important when determining where I'm going to set roots, because I need to be able to defend myself the best way possible. Defend my family. Defend my land. You know what I'm saying? I need to put myself in the best position. I need to be able to have my shit and not worry about the police confiscating it because it has a regular magazine release. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or if it doesn't, oh, your shit, it has a muzzle brake. Or a muzzle, it has a muzzle brake or a fucking pistol or a pistol grip or a foregrip. We gotta take your shit now because you have these little attachments. Like, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's madness. You know what I'm saying? So fuck that. I'm not going to Africa. Especially with China horning in everywhere. China, Russia. Nah. Nope. Nope. Say what you want about our military, but we have basically the strongest military on earth. And, the soldiers aren't brainwashed and equipped and ready to slaughter their own people just yet. Not all of them, Like the majority of soldiers out there wouldn't, they wouldn't hesitate to, you know, do the right thing, especially if they were forced to, if they were given the orders to turn the guns on their own people. They wouldn't be as ready as, say, the police would. The police in this country would turn their guns on their own people before the military. So, but I do know that there are certain elite factions of the military that will do some black ops to take out certain homegrown threats. I believe that. Don't get it twisted. Let's see. Blessman Autumn says, I track the best thinkers around here. That's what's up. They keep winning, exactly, Black Spring. They keep winning no matter who is in office. Why? Because you guys keep going out to vote. Not you guys, but you American people, right? Y'all keep going out to submit. That's what you're doing when you vote. When you submit a ballot, you're submitting your obedience to whoever wins, right? Because you let them know, look, I want this guy to be in charge. I really want this guy to be in charge. That's why I put his name on the ballot. But if your guy wins, well, I'll do what he says. I won't like it, but I'll have to deal with it. That's what you're doing when you vote. People don't understand that. They think that you're doing something. They think that there's power in voting. No, well, there is power in voting, but the power is not in your hands. The power is in the system that you're submitting that vote to. That's where the power lies. That's where the power lies. No matter how you hem and haw, how much you hem and haw, no matter how many protests you throw on, none of that shit matters with their people in place. With their system in place, it doesn't matter. Hiding, burning shit fucking helps anything. Shouting at Klaus asks, did you see the new gun grab HR? They are proposing that teenage young lovers. Yeah. Well, that's what they want to do. They want to remove your gun rights forever for any little thing. You know what I'm saying? They want to remove your gun rights forever for the stupid shit. Now, what's domestic violence? Who's going to interpret what level of domestic violence constitutes taking someone's rights away? You know? What if the woman is hitting up all on the man and the man restrains her and then the cops show up and take you to jail? Now you lost your rights because you stopped your woman from hitting you? Like, who's gonna, it's very subjective. Very subjective. All these laws. It's gonna be very subjective. Make no bones about it. They gripping out where? Oh, hey, dudes, they gripping out where? Josh Death Thrash says, I work with those types, they're all Republicans. And every time I bring up everything about Trump has done, they throw it back at Biden. Every time I bring up the red flag laws, I'm crazy. Yeah. Dan Crenshaw, the one-eyed punk who wants to initiate red flag laws all across the nation. Dan Crenshaw, the co-sponsor of the TAPS Act. the pre-crime bill that could really destroy this country. Yeah, people like Dan Crenshaw, Donald Trump. Donald Trump said, I like take the guns first, due process second. Well, that's not how it's supposed to work. According to the Constitution, especially for those constitutionalists who are pro-Trump, y'all should have shot him down as soon as he said that. He should have been your enemy at that point, because that goes against the Constitution. There is no take the property first, due process second. He wants to change that. That's what these red flag laws do. They, they bypass due process and take the guns first. That's what it does. Trump said that. And that's why that man in Maryland, whose niece initiated a red flag law against him, that's why he ended up dead. Because they were emboldened by Trump's words and were able to get that shit through with little resistance. That's that cult of personality bullshit and cognitive dissonance that I'll be talking about. He's still pushing. I know he's still pushing them. Dan Crenshaw's a piece of shit. I don't care about his fucking war heroism. The banker war, where there are no heroes. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to the soldiers that went out there and thought they were doing their duty. You know what I'm saying? They thought they were fighting for democracy. For our democracy, even though they wasn't. Our democracy wasn't under threat by Afghanistan. Our democracy wasn't under threat by Iraq. You know, the freedoms, the little freedoms that we do enjoy here in the United States, a lot more than other countries do, and I acknowledge and recognize that. We are the best oppressed country in the world. But Afghanistan and Iraq were no threat to our freedoms. They were no threat to our democracy. So the soldiers that went out there, that went to war and fought, I mean, y'all thought y'all were doing the right thing. Y'all were following orders. You know, that's what you signed up to do. You signed your life away. You gave your rights up. Shout out to y'all, but you were not fighting for nobody's freedoms, my friend. You helped to destabilize an entire region of countries, damn near a whole continent. Unseated Gaddafi, and now there's full-on slavery in Libya. Full-on slavery. Full-on slavery in Libya. You know, we dethroned Saddam Hussein and, you know, gave rise to ISIS. Everything we do, everything this government does causes more destruction than if they'd left the shit alone. So Dan Crenshaw is no hero to me. Period. And that's a damn shame. Trump supporters would never acknowledge that. He is a creep. Trump, I saw him hanging out with Obama. Smiling big time, like looking beyond wealthy. Because he is. Black Spring with Autumn says, I heard the tracking system won't even accept any more negative reports about the sting. We will never have real data. Nope. You talking about the VAERS? Black Spring with Autumn? Same snake, two heads, two sides of the same coin, two wings of the same bird. Yeah. What's the point of the VAERS if they're not going to track the negative effects? That doesn't make any sense. Now, all of a sudden, VAERS has no value because it's self-reporting. Well, it's not just self-reporting. Those things get reported on, but then they also get followed up on, right? The CDC follows up on it and gets more information and gets more evidence. So it's not just, they act like, oh, in the VAERS system, people just put whatever the fuck they want. There's no follow-up. There's no fact-checking. No, all that shit is done. They do all that shit. You know? It's just like removing the number of dislikes people get on their videos. It's just manipulation. Media manipulation. Media manipulation and socialization. They're trying to create a certain level of atmosphere. They don't want people to have all the information. They want people to have their information. It's all trash. All of it. It's all a bunch of garbage. Whew. 3 laps. I'm feeling pretty good. Four miles, 934 calories in 2 hours. That's my fastest time for 3 laps. I'm usually like 2 hours and 20 minutes or higher. Cool. I made real good time. Progressive overload your life, y'all. Progressive overload. Same amount of time, same amount of laps, less time. That's improvement. What the fuck is that? Yes, sir. I'm here at the end, y'all. Man, I'm walking on the beach in West Haven, Connecticut, along with you currently. Coast to coast tandem exercise. That's what's up, Robert Lynn Sanchez. That's what I'm talking about. Sanchez. Robert Lynn Schultz, my bad. I'm glad we were able to take this walk together, Robert Lynn. And I hope you guys are doing something every day to move and improve your health. Because
You're still over here?
it's not about never getting sick. It's about when you do get sick, how well can you fight that sickness? You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. It's not about never getting sick, because that's impossible, right? It's about how your body deals with that sickness. We'll post a short video on my channel later today when I go to the truck stop. That's what's up, Robert Lynn. Hold on.
Oh, here it is. Found it. else's ticket. I want somebody else's ticket with you. Show me a glass of wine.
Okay, I think that's right. That I can
All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Help get this out there. And much love, you guys. Let's keep marching forward toward freedom.